Welcome to Bad Gear, the show about the world's most hated audio tools. Yes, it's ugly, but who am I to judge?
At the first glance, Akai ripping off the Pioneer SP16 design language was not on my bingo card for 2025. Speaking of taking inspiration from other brands, MPC Live III pads not only come with velocity and aftertouch, they also open up a world of Korg wave drum style expressiveness, XY pad functionality that fortunately works better than on Medusa, and you can assign 4 samples to one pad, resulting in monstrous 64 sample layers. As of now, this nuclear option among finger drumming tools can only be applied to drums, but allows for articulations like the usual ratchets and some more advanced stuff. Leave a comment if you know a reliable way to keep them from getting so disgusting so quickly. A more than usable microphone and surprisingly decent sounding boombox style internal speaker aside, it is the seemingly out of place step sequencing interface that first meets the eye. Drum programming reminiscent of classic TRs. Old school step-by-step note input, step automation, 80s disco visuals, and easily accessible polymeters are just the tip of the iceberg, but we will come back to some of its other features in a bit. In addition to the vastly improved tech specs, which are on par with a budget Android phone, MPC Live III now comes with all the things you would expect from a real DAW. While I usually avoid song modes like the plague, creating arrangements actually makes sense here. And the clip launcher you might know from Force brings new functionality to the table I would have a hard time recreating in Ableton in face of the fancy ribbon controller, assignable Q-Link knobs, pad grid macros, higher plugin count, and ample polyphony. You might actually want to ditch your computer entirely, but funnily enough, I was missing a mouse for MIDI editing in the piano roll. There are, however, more hands-on editing tools directly accessible from the step sequencing buttons, which let you fine-tune patterns for triggering the usual drum kits, chromatically playable key groups, external instruments via MIDI and CV, and an ever-growing collection of roided-up plugins, ranging from smooth vintage emulations to aggressive EDM tones. Handling of actual audio files has become very DAW-like as well, and I appreciate the new time-stretching algos. Feel free to polish all this futuristic meta Groovebox goodness with a slightly convoluted yet powerful mixer, even with more complex FX changes and unabashed plugin use, the CPU didn't break a sweat, as we are talking about the blessings of modern digital technology. While most of these features can be implemented in older machines by spending $100 on the Pro pack, the new stem separation functionality is reserved for Live III and works sufficiently well. The content library is vast And of course, Akai is willing to sell you more, but it goes without saying that you can also sample your own sounds via the internal microphone, USB, by hooking up turntables to the phono ins and or using the two rear panel combo inputs with phantom power. The machine is also capable of direct from disk streaming now, and there's MIDI ports for grown-ups, Bluetooth MIDI, and you can use the USB ports for either connecting storage devices, MIDI controllers, or expanding the unit with a class-compliant audio interface. I didn't find a way to send my own samples via Wi-Fi, but working with SD cards is fine with me, just in case you are completely overwhelmed by this merciless feature fest. So am I, and given the price of around $1.5 grand, I'd like to thank the Shazzle for lending me his brand new Live III.
Akai finally released hardware capable of running their proprietary DAW properly. That's all fine and dandy, but does it really need to be so ugly?
You have already heard the new Live in today's intro tune. A little bit of FM, some VA and lots of bad taste. I wanna know how far the stock synths and my modest MPC skills will take me in the first jam.
That wasn't so hard. While the MPC drum synth tones would need a little more processing to truly pop out, the more elaborate sound generators are on par with modern plugins like Serum tonally. The ribbon controller is smooth as butter. Time to add an external synth, give the Ableton style clip launcher a go, explore the stock library and load up a classic drum break. Beautiful! You can now have the DAW experience with all the extra steps of using hardware. On a less cynical note, the included samples are top-notch and the sound design potential of the plugins is huge. Let's push this cornucopia of tones to the limit with a hybrid MPC DAW workflow for this retro gaming soundtrack for old millennials and young Gen Xers, consisting of demure breakbeat worship and bass-heavy darkcore reimagining. Live III is, without a doubt, one of the most powerful Grooveboxes on the market. Its intimidating set of features and sheer limitless pool of sound is held together by the traditional and oftentimes archaic MPC workflow, which is both a blessing and a curse. Seasoned MPC enjoyers will look past the questionable design decisions and embrace the wealth of possibilities otherwise reserved for computer applications, while beginners might be more than willing to accept the challenges that come with such a complex instrument. That being said, people like me who never really clicked with this 80s industry standard of beat creation turned cult-like music production philosophy can only dream of having all this power in a Groovebox they actually want to make music with. It's still ugly though. Thanks for watching and see you next time. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed the episode. Feel free to like, subscribe, become a patron and use one of the links down below to support the channel regardless of what your gas commands you to buy.